And I give it a moment here. We probably are live. I always make jokes at this part because Facebook, it seems like there's a lag, but they'll tell you 15 seconds after you're live that you're live. All right, cool. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to really an impromptu meeting.
Impromptu.
Thank you.
Especially if I fall asleep, it's very impromptu. We didn't plan for you to fall asleep in the middle of this talk.
Right. We'll get the disclaimers out there for you here in a second, Jill. Well, here we go, guys. I'm Adam Carswell. Hi, Grandma. I'm joined today by my good friend Jillian Godsil.
I thought you were calling me Grandma.
No, I always say hi to my grandma. So
okay.
No, what do you mean, Jill? Didn't you just turn 30? Right? Yeah. Exactly.
I don't know which way to move my head. Yes, plus VAT, 30 plus VAT.
I'm really looking forward to this conversation, guys. And I want to deliver this as kind of an exclusive message to this group. I want to thank everyone who's tuned in or who's listening now on the replay. I'm really excited about the future of this Facebook group. If you got any friends that are interested in what we're going to be talking about today, which is NFTs, it's kind of tied to blockchain and crypto, be sure to invite them in here. I just want to continue to build on this conversation. So a little bit more context. Jill and I know each other through Liberland, which is a country in Europe founded, a little bit over 5 years from now, almost 6 years. And we connected just through being a part of the Liberland community. I host the podcast. She does millions of things for the furtherment of the country, including LiberlandPress is a really just a place that Jill is present and has made a huge impact. And then also as a female leader in our community, she's like one of our go-to people. So still some more context to come, but I want to pause for a second. And Jill, was there any greetings or remarks that you wanted to fill in here before we get started?
Well, I'm very happy to be here, of course, and I love talking to you, Adam. I've been on your show many times, and of course, each week we chat away, and you always catch me, go, Jill, what are you doing now at the conference call? I'm going, oh, yes, I'm here, I'm doing something. So likewise, tonight, I have to say, if anybody is watching, and I'm sure they are because you're a very interesting person and broadcaster, I'm apologizing now for being dead tired. I was asking Adam, did you have the matchsticks? He goes, for what? I said, to hold open my eyes. There's just been a long 2021, I think. It's just been very, very, very busy, very exciting, for which we're going to be talking, part of this, why we're talking about tonight. The whole blockchain and crypto world is exploding.
Yeah, very much, to say the least. And guys, again, I think I said this, but I'll say it one more time. Jill's based out of Dublin, Ireland. So we thank her for, again, staying up late for us.
It's not that it's late per se. It's just that I've been on the go. It's only 9:15, so it's not late, but it's just, I'm ready for my...
You know what? Something I just noticed. I like how you said you've been on the go, because that's a phrase that I never really heard in my life until I moved to Newfoundland, which we have a lot of Irish influence here. So now I know on the go might actually come from Ireland, not from Newfoundland.
Wow, there are, so we send our expressions like our people across the world.
So NFTs, exciting topic. I kind of already have an understanding for what they are, but I do want to kind of start from square one for anyone who it's, maybe their first time hearing about it. Could you just, in a 1 to 2 sentence or 30-second way, explain what is an NFT?
Okay, well, it stands for non-fungible token. So it sounds like kind of a big sort of non-fungible. What does that mean? In actual fact, we're all kind of non-fungible. Adam, you're non-fungible. I'm non-fungible. My laptop's non-fungible. My dog, my tree, the house. Most things on this planet are non-fungible, which means that they can't be broken down or divided equally. So, for example, a birth cert, a person, a tree, they're all unique in their own right. A fungible token, which actually, funnily enough, is a much more unusual thing, is something like money. So currency, a dollar is a fungible token because I can give you $1 and you can give me $1. They can be different dollars, but they're totally interchangeable. And plus also they are divisible. So I could give you, instead of $1, I could give you a number of coins that make up $1. And it's still equal to the same thing. So fungible things are more unusual. It's like currency where you can exchange like for like. Doesn't matter who, whether it's in your wallet for months, or whether it's, you got it straight from the bank, they're interchangeable. They have the same value. And they're also, you can break them down and change. But non-fungible items, which are most things, but a good example is a birth cert or house deeds. So you can't cut them up. And one refers to a birth cert to me, and house deeds refer to a particular house, and you can't just chop them up. So that's what the term means. So, but why is it exciting? Non-fungible tokens are the natural extension of what's been happening in the blockchain and cryptocurrency world. So will I just go back and say what blockchain is, what cryptocurrency is?
Please do,
Just to, I mean, people know this, but just to refresh. Blockchain is a technology. It's transformational. It's amazing. It came into being in the 90s. I forget the two guys that set it up, but it became popularized and became very well known in 2008 when Bitcoin, which is the first cryptocurrency, was created by an anonymous person or persons by the pseudonym of Satoshi Nakamoto. And he wrote this 8-page white paper in 2008. It was after the Lehman Brothers crashed the whole financial system, where they were the top of the iceberg, whatever, or the bottom, whatever you look at it. And this person or persons said the financial system is failing us, and they came up with an alternative form of currency. And when I say currency, I say a means of exchanging value. And the reason why it's interesting, and this is where it comes to NFTs in a minute, blockchain as a technology has a number of features, and one of which is that it can produce immutable digital objects. Immutable means you cannot change them. So that gets around the idea. If you think about digital objects, not money, just digital objects. If I want to email you something, what's to stop me emailing someone else the same thing? So I've got a really nice picture. I scan in, I email it to Adam. I also email it to my sister. Nothing to stop that me sending stuff around the place. But if you use blockchain, it means you can't do that. So if I use blockchain to send something, say currency, to Adam, I cannot. It's gone. It's absolutely gone. And why is that revolutionary? And again, it comes on to the NFTs. Is that, but in terms of currency, just to explain that, typically when we exchange values back in the day, we had barter. We had shells, we had coins, we had spices, lots of different things that people would barter. And then the whole gold came into being, metals, and then gold. And gold is pretty heavy to carry around. So then banks originated as holding places where you could say, I've got, a big bar of gold there. And you could carry around a piece of paper that said, I have this much gold. So you could exchange things much more easily. And the same way, I love, there's an expression called a coincidence of wants. With barter only works if you both want the thing that the other person is offering. So if I have a cow and you have a sheep, and you want a sheep and I want a cow, or if that's whatever way we're at, if we both have it, it's great. But if I have a cow and you have a sheep, but I want another cow, that's no good. So barter is very limited. And then the whole idea of having exchanging a token, a unit of exchange is a great idea. But then again, how do you make it work? And rather, even like having to put your gold in a bank and carry around bits of paper, kind of complicated. And over time, banks developed into an intermediary that basically said, yes, Adam has got $10. He wants to give 5 to Jill. We will supervise that, take 5 out of his account and make sure 5 ends up with Jill. So banks became very important. Started off, they were physical things. And over time, increasingly now we've got digital money, which is not the same as cryptocurrency. And we know that because we have money on our phone, on our cards, online, and we exchange it. But banks are the thing that are in the middle, or financial institutions that we know. So if I'm going to a shop and I use my card to pay for something, the bank pretty much guarantees that I have the money. So that's going to just get that straight. So going back then to blockchain is immutable. And it gets over this problem of what they call the double spend. I can't email you something and email something to you. So cryptocurrencies, which are formed on top of blockchains, they're really super, because it means that, like with Bitcoin, I don't need the blockchain is immutable. You can't change it. And I don't need a bank to exchange value. I can send you from my Bitcoin directly to you, peer to peer, some Bitcoin in exchange for something else, or just send it to you, whatever. And it leaves my wallet and it ends up in your wallet. And it's decentralized. It means that it is, rather than one centralized bank, you've got lots of nodes, and it's an open ledger and it's all recorded. So that's kind of a bit of a into this space, right? NFTs, right? Now, why are NFTs are actually very exciting. And it's taken a while for me to really twig how exciting they are. I know they've been exciting. I've been like going, this is really good stuff. And I've
been talking about them for like a year.
Yeah, because I've been working on them for the past year and a bit. And it's like, it's digital art. there's different things, but actually increasingly, well, let's start with digital art. So I create a picture and I want to sell it to you. Typically in the past, what you would do is you would maybe do, if you had an original, right? But if you wanted to do prints, you do one of, you have the one of 1,000 or one of 100 or one, whatever they are. And typically you trust the artist enough that they're not in the back room doing another one of 100, so they're selling them to the next sort of gullible tourists that come around the bit. So you have kind of a bit of, I know galleries do it too as well. And yes, I mean, the art world is full of, copies and counterfeits and all the rest of it. But digitally, it's been very hard to do anything. And like in some ways, if you think about it, if you took a picture of the Mona Lisa, if you went to the Louvre and took a picture of the Mona Lisa, if you had a really good camera, you could print that out in your home on a nice piece of textured thing, whatever, and it's like, well, is that the real one or not? Now, it's not, because the real one's hanging in the Louvre and you obviously haven't got it. But with digital art, you can use this thing called a non-fungible token, which says this piece of art is unique. So it's the same like concept of looking at cryptocurrencies, although they are fungible, but it's still the whole idea of you can say there is only one of these. This is unique. It's the same sort of basic technology behind it. And why that is exciting? It's exciting for artists because all of a sudden they can now upload to galleries. They can say they can mint their art as a one-off or a one of many, depending on whatever they want to do. And increasingly, musicians are starting to do that now. So it's anything. It doesn't have to be just a piece of art. It could be a ticket. It could be a piece of music. And I was on the radio recently talking about, you probably have heard the Kings of Leon release their 8th album, I think it was, as an NFT. Now, why is that exciting? And I was actually on a radio show in the UK with the CEO of Yellow Heart, Josh, I forget his surname now. Anyway, he was there. And it suddenly struck me why this is important, like really, especially for musicians. 2 reasons. One is that they can now, if you want to buy music, right? Typically, you go to a streaming service, or you can buy a CD or whatever people use nowadays and get through the post. You go to a streaming service. Streaming services you tend to go to because you want to pay them, the artist. You don't want to rob them. You don't go to a pirate copy necessarily. And although its streaming services are super, as we know, a fraction of the value of the music goes to the artist. I mean, it's minuscule. It's really very, very bad. So if you then, and why do people use streaming services as opposed to pirate services? Well, it's handy, it's easy, right? That's up. But it's also because they don't want to cheat, and streaming services aren't that expensive as a purchaser. So you don't want to cheat, and you think, okay, I can afford to pay this and I'm happy to pay this. But the artist gets so little. If you have your album, however, as an NFT, the vast bulk of that money goes to the artist. So the person who's purchasing it, they are purchasing art that is guaranteed to be original, comes from the artist, but the bulk of the money goes to the, now that's exciting. And in addition, because NFT is digital, you can do more things than they do on streaming, because with Kings of Leon, they also, I think when you get your digital NFT, they will also post you out of vinyl. So there's a physical thing attached. So it doesn't always happen, but they've decided to do it this way. So I think it's a $50. So it's quite expensive in terms of paying for music, but you get a piece of vinyl and there's a limited number. They've also put in different images and pictures, which are unique to this particular drop and will never exist again, not as these originals. So it's actually quite exciting as a means of delivery. So before it's all like all these things are kind of esoteric and what's an NFT and it's unique digital original, but you suddenly think, oh wow, if I'm an artist, and especially in lockdown, you haven't been able to gig or get out there and do performances, and most lower level artists would have to gig to make money nowadays. It's not, because streaming doesn't make money. But if you can actually go back to the old-fashioned selling, if you like, and also if you sell a digital NFT and don't do a vinyl, that was just them being very fancy, the costs are much lower. So if I'm a small artist, I can then say, right, I'm going to produce limited number, or maybe not even limited, I'm going to produce any number, but the money comes to me rather than to the streaming service. And the person who's purchasing it, they know it's authentic. They bought the real one. Like you go into the shop and you buy the real one, and they're also benefiting the artist more. Does that make sense?
Yes, and you just made me think of it too. I'm going to pull up Kings of Leon NFT just so we can put the link to it in there in our chat here. Well, let's see, this is
the other nice
release.
Thing about NFTs is that when you hold an NFT, and I am no expert on this, I know you said that, but I'm not, you can do drops. So I have, like, for example, I'm a member of the crypto writer team on the voice platform. And Kenny, one of the founders, has set up these NFTs with Phineas, his character. It's the whole range. So they got a lot of times in this space, people create these entities. They create a lot of lore, L-O-R-E, behind them. It's kind of like this whole gaming thing. So it's kind of interesting. There's a whole story coming behind this Finny. But because I hold some of these NFTs, in future drops, I'll get new things, new collectibles, new cards. Already I looked at my Wax wallet, I went, oh, what's that? Now, and I can then also, the nice thing about NFTs is not only do you have them and they're original, but also you can sell them. You can trade them on a secondary marketplace. And even better, with the more up-to-date versions now, you can actually, the original artist would get money from them. So let's just say, for example, I produce an NFT, you bought it, then you decided, you know what, I'm fed up with Kings of Leon, I'm going to sell that NFT on a site. Kings of Leon will still get a residual royalty from that secondary sale.
Yes.
And it's all handled by smart contracts. So.
Right. And I did drop a link in our chat box here on Facebook as well for the fundamentals of cryptocurrency, which kind of walks through a lot of what Jillian was talking about leading into the NFT conversation. Definitely check that out, because it's just going to help clarify a lot of things for you if you're not too familiar with the space. And so, Jill, I still have a bunch of questions for you here, and I want to try and keep this to under a half hour if we can.
Okay.
So let's just see what we can do. But really, as far as getting involved in the space, like I want to get as educated in this as possible, because I do see it as something where if you immerse yourself in the knowledge now for, 3 to 6 months, then that you could, or you just stay plugged into this community, 3 to 5 years from now, you could be considered an expert. So I want to know, I'm just going to throw these all out here now and we can kind of work our way through them. But one is, in your opinion, what are the top 2 news sources and resources for learning more about NFTs? What 2 celebrities would you suggest looking into or following as someone who's kind of paving the way? And then like just looking at it from my own perspective and for this community here, like how do I create my own NFT? Like, how do I begin creating my own? I know I actually talked to you about this before with Lieberland, but I want like some kind of next level NFT platform or community where, if I can create one original piece of art per month, or someone in the community can, and we can put it in our platform. I think, again, I see that as something where it's like, okay, we're kind of just experimenting for now, but who knows, like whatever we create now, 5, 10, 20 years from now, we'd be like, whoa, I'm happy we did that in 2021. So that's all I want to learn from you today. So
okay, I actually sold a tweet. You know how did you see that on
Twitter?
Jack Dorsey, he sold his first tweet, and actually, who was bidding for? Was it Justin's son or somebody else bid for? Or maybe it's still out. It's like 3 million NFT. So I set up my own. There's a site called Cent, CENT, and I set up my own, and I sold a tweet for $10. Now, wow! I sold it to a friend, so it doesn't really count.
Is it cent.com?
CENT, yeah. Actually, it's very funny. A friend of mine, a Texan, he introduced me to this, and he bought my tweet. He said, Cint is a great site. I'm going, Cint? And I go, Cent. He goes, Cint. But it was accent. So I'm thinking SYNT or something. And it's CENT. We'd laugh over our pronunciations. But anyway, that's one of the fun things.
Got it here. Cent.co.
Yes. Yeah. So there's 2 ways of, can I suggest? OpenC, very simple. You set it up. It's on the Ethereum blockchain. Now, the only problem is, do people in your audience know about the different blockchains? A bit? Yeah.
We are still kind of scratching the surface, but we've got some Liberlandians in here and people who are pretty passionate about blockchain that would probably know what you're talking about. So if you want to get
Ethereum is the second. Like if blockchain was the first, Bitcoin was the first blockchain, Ethereum is the second one. And what makes Ethereum stand out is 2 things. One, it has smart contracts, which are basically self-fulfilling, technically written contracts that execute automatically when a set of criteria are met. And it's very handy for implementing, I do this, I pay you that, but bang, it happens. It's like, I was talking to a lottery, mylottocoin.com recently, and they're set up a lottery where it executes. You don't have to go back. If you win a lottery, you got to go into the shop and fill in forms and get your money over. This it automatically executes, so it's so handy. So Ethereum is it's the second most popular coin. It's the most popular blockchain which people build because of the smart contracts. Vitalik Buterin is the writer of it, so he's a very famous man. And it was very famous during the ICO bull run back in 2017, 2018, because people were raising money, ICO, initial coin offerings. They were doing it as a crowdfunding exercise, and they created projects and their own tokens on the Ethereum blockchain, ERC20 tokens. And so very, very popular. And it has gone up in value in the local bear run. The only problem is to send Ethereum costs gas. So you got to pay to send your things. So the OpenC, which is an open website, you go on.
What's it called? OpenC?
OpenC.io. It's on the Ethereum blockchain. Sorry?
How do you spell it?
OPENSEA, OpenC.io. And it's grand and dandy. The only problem is because we're experiencing such, and have been since the summer last summer with the DeFi, decentralized finance explosion, gas rates are very high. So to mint a new picture takes gas. And sometimes it can be like $30, $40, $100 to mint a new NFT. And if you're thinking of selling your NFT for $10, not so good. So that's a problem that's there at the moment. Its popularity is pushing itself out of practice in some ways. I mean, if you're going to there was a very big sale. Beeple sold his 500 days montage through Christie's for almost $60 million. And but if you're buying,
sorry. I'm looking at OpenC. So with OpenC, could I go on there and like create like a next level community or something where, again, the main focus isn't to like sell it right away. It's more to create things now and just hold on to them. I was going to suggest until Ethereum sorts itself out on the gas fee, for ordinary folk, it's a bit, it's a bit expensive because if you're doing this for fun, whatever, it's not, you don't want to spend a lot of money on gas. The Wax blockchain is better. There's no fees. So for example, if you go on to Atomic Assets, it's Assets or Hub, I forget which, sorry. It's a Wax-based, EOS-based, Wax-based blockchain, and there's no fees for setting it up. And then also, if you want to wait a couple of weeks, there's a new site coming out that I'm involved with called Dmerch, which will be a easy peasy get your NFT out and about. So it'll be like a plug and play, clicking, whatever you do when you click and, I don't know, what do? You click on something. So it'll be. Did I say I was tired by my? I'm looking at Wax. This looks super user friendly. Just looking at the landing page. Well, Wax also, you can set up your Wax. The nice thing about Wax is when they started doing collectibles with a company called Tops, they did the Garbage Pail Kids cards, which were very popular in the 80s. They were slightly kind of seedy, whatever, and teachers used to ban them. So kids love them, of course. They were just like, it was the 80s, very innocent. But they had that kind of like edgy feel to it. And so it's quite a community of people. So they launched a collectible version of the Garbage Pail Kids cards on Wax early last year. Was it last year? Yeah, last year. And they sold out in 37 hours. Just they all went. And then they've had loads of collectibles. William Shatner did a collectible and that sold out in like 7 minutes. $500,000 worth or something, kind of crazy stuff. And then the secondary market has huge, I mean, Wax is very good because the Wax wallet, you can sign up using your social. So if you can use your Twitter account, you don't need to put in, I need to put in my keys and my, all that kind of scary stuff for cryptocurrency. And on the Wax platform, typically you can buy first primary sales with fiat. So you can put up your Wax wallet, but you can also buy, and some of this you can actually use your credit card and buy stuff, which is kind of handy if you're a newbie in this game. You don't have whatever. And then the Wax wallet is so easy to set up. But so, Dmerch is watch Dmerch. That's going to be a very easy way to onboard people. Is there a link or somewhere we can go to like kind of get in the waiting list for Dmerch?
I think it's dmerch.com, DMERCH. Is it .io.com?
I think it's .io because.
So DMERCH. I'm sorry, I should have looked this up beforehand.
You're good. Yep, this is it. dmerch.io. All right,
yeah,
cool.
So I'm actually working on that project, so I must confess that. And
That's
we're going to start. There's a couple of major projects coming out early next month. But the whole plan of that one is to be an easy way to onboard people and set up your basic stuff. And then when you get very fancy, like that William Shatner drop, he had like different packs. You'd buy the packs, and you'd open them up, and you wouldn't know there was going to be different cards, different wearables in there. And then he did sharding, so you could get a pack, you might get a piece of a card. You got to find other pieces of the card to make it a full card. And then when you get them, you can burn them to make them even more rare. It's a lot of gamification involved in this. And that's more for the collectibles than obviously the art. Although you heard about Banksy, the very famous English artist. He, one of his art pieces was made into an NFT, and then the original was burnt.
There you go.
That's
pretty cool.
He's only Banksy to get away with that.
I'm looking at DMerch's website too, and they kind of got a breakdown. It's create an asset, own the market, create a community, in that order. And that's exactly this. Thank you so much for coming on here, Jill.
Well, here's the thing
that's what I'm looking for.
As well, I'm working with some very talented people on that, and I say we're just getting our act together because it's a year in the making. But
actually, we have to give you some credit here too. Weren't you 2020 or 2019 like top women in blockchain in the world or something like that?
Yeah,
you were.
Yeah,
you're like top something.
But we can help your community. I say give us another month. There's a couple of things we want to come out, and then you go, oh wow, these guys are really big. We've got some really nice projects coming down the way. And then we will then be able to say, right, off you go. So we can come back and I can have a proper conversation. I won't be so tired. I won't need matchsticks. And I'll say, this is how we do
it. Keep us updated and connected, because I think, again, not only me, but we're going to have some other people in here that are going to want to either be a part of this or go and do their own thing. And again, guys, like it all starts with having a conversation, just talking about it. I know that this is something that I want to dive into because it just looks like the return on investment long-term by educating yourself now. It's like any of those trends. It's like the internet trend, it's the blockchain trend, it's the crypto trend. You can use TikTok or Clubhouse, all these things that came out within the past 20 years that everyone was scratching their head about, being skeptical about at the beginning. This gives me the exact same vibration of something that if you just educate yourself now, you'll be so happy you did 3, 5, 10, 20 years.
And interesting thing too as well, I think a lot of the time, and I feel it myself, FOMO. Like I felt a lot of FOMO last summer with all the DeFi, the decentralized finance, and that crazy stuff. And I'm going to myself, why aren't I benefiting from this? I mean, I know I do a lot of advocacy and a lot of, I believe in the transformational technology and all the good stuff. But I'm also saying, these people are making millions overnight. Why aren't I? And so I think sometimes you got to say, do you know what? I work in this industry. I love this industry. I'm interested in this industry, and I will engage the things that I enjoy. And whether you make millions or not, if you enjoy what you're doing and you're doing stuff, it's interesting. It's never boring.
Yeah. So okay, the other two things that I just kind of wanted to get down for my Adam checklist, and hopefully this will benefit some others as well, is I just want to know, in your opinion, what are the top 2 like information sources to go to for, like, is there an NFT hub, either YouTube channel, podcast, website? Like, what do you recommend the top 2 places to go, or where do you go?
Do you know what I read a lot now? I'm in it, so I'm kind of a bit biased,
okay,
but I'm fine. On, again, the Voice platform, yes. Again from Wax, and Block One set it up. And if people want invites, I've got invites. I can send you an invite.
I need to get on there because I have the app, but I think I need an invite.
You need invites, yeah. So I've got some generic invites that I can send over to you. And then on that, there's a bunch of different communities, and Crypto Writer. They are very big on NFTs. Voice. Yes, the Voice. That's what it looks like, yeah. So
wait, am I on here?
Sorry. You might be. It's still.
I am. I think I was in waiting line, and now I'm finally in.
Oh, brilliant, cool. Brilliant. So if you haven't, I can send over invites to get you in. But if you go to the Crypto Writer forum community, there's lots of really smart guys in there writing about it. Much smarter than I am, and it's nicely written because it's not hard. So
if I find you on Voice,
Voice,
okay, I see you.
You see me?
I'll follow you.
Yeah.
And then would I look through like maybe your likes?
Yeah, it's not the easiest platform to navigate at the moment. There is very good content on it.
I just want to get, if possible, get the UR. What's the name of the one that you're recommending?
Well,
Crypto
voice.com.
Writer? Is it Crypto
I would say
Writer?
crypto writer. It's a community in there. You got
Crypto
there's right.
Writer. This one?
I can see your
Oh,
face.
uh-oh, my hold on. My battery. All right, we're going switching to the Sidecam. Hold on. Where are we at? All right.
Oh,
We'll finish off the interview here.
How
So
posh.
Crypto Writer. This
Yes,
one?
yes. That's exactly it. Actually,
I'm
you know what's very
following that.
interesting? I have it here. That the artist Lars Zoopsplash, he did the cover of my book.
Nice. Yeah, I can tell.
Same
Cool.
artist. He's very talented.
So
I go there, and then where else would I go? Oh, do you know Ronan the Collector? He does a great NFT live over on YouTube. Now it's quite dense. So
Ronan?
it is. His name is Ronan. He's on Twitter as well. Ronan the Collector.
R-O.
Oh, and that Martini guy is not bad either, actually, on Twitter.
Oh, I want to do the collector guy. Roland the Collector.
Ronan, Ronin, the Collector.
Ronan. Okay.
And he's lovely, but some of his podcasts or videos they're a little bit dense, but they're also good. They're kind of funny.
I think I saw this guy in Clubhouse.
Well, I only have an Android, so I'm not into Clubhouse yet. Just as well.
We'll get you. So all right, cool. So I got Ronan. I got Crypto Writer. That's for now. That's all I need. I got Wax and D merch. Very happy with that. Yeah. And then as far as celebrities to follow, it sounds like Banksy could be a good one. Anyone else?
I don't think he doesn't do that much talking. Celebrities. Okay. Well, Elon Musk is always funny because he's now. Oh, did you see that he's Techno King? Have you seen that? He's changed his bio tonight. And I read that as tech knocking. What's tech knocking? Techno King. So Elon Musk, the tech knocking man. So
okay,
not that he. Where he's very big on the Dogecoin and stuff like that. So it's kind of fun.
Right.
He just who else? I know. I do know who to follow. And now he's not just NFTs, of course. Andreas Antonopoulos. He does very good. And actually, I'm doing that course, the University of Nicosia's cryptocurrencies MSc. I'm not doing the actual MSc. I'm doing the MOOC, the massively open online course as an introduction to the MSc. I'm not. It's too technical for me, the actual MSc. But I'm doing that course. So Andreas Antonopoulos is amazing.
Awesome. All right, I got everything I was looking to get out of this covered. Thank you. And then I think hopefully some bonuses for everyone else here. And I feel like I had another question, but we'll just keep it moving because we're a little bit over the half-hour mark.
Oops, sorry.
And no, you're fine. You're fine. I'm the one driving the ship here, so it's on me. Yeah, so thank you again, guys. Go through the links here. I put them all in the chat. Want to encourage everyone. Again, this is a private conversation for now. It might later make its way to, there we go, get that book, Persons of Interest.
I've got interviews with Jordan Lyle, who did the meme. You know the meme token? It was more DeFi, whatever, but it's, yeah.
Is there a link to that? Can I get a link to your book?
Yeah, it's called personsofinterest.io. So persons-of interest, so persons plural.io.
Persons of, did I spell it wrong? Persons.
And I'll give you, can I give you an exclusive? Do you want to hear an exclusive? I'm going to be launching this as an NFT next month, the book.
Ooh.
Plus also, as a bonus, there's 42 interviews in this book, right? Everybody from Andreas Antonopoulos, John McAfee.
You interviewed John McAfee?
Yeah, I got him before he was in jail. President Vitt is in here too as well. Richard Ells from Electronium. There are so many people in here that are well known, and Stefan Rust, ex-CEO of Bitcoin.com. There's a lot of different people in here. But well, I've done illustrations of them all. Like, Quentin Blake illustrated Roald Dahl's books?
Yeah.
I've done illustrations that my art teacher says are reminiscent of Quentin Blake. So I didn't say it, he said it. So, and I'm going to be making them into NFTs as well. So you can buy the book and then buy the people.
Cool. All right. So, I honestly, I actually was having a hard time finding it. So when we're done with this, if you could just go onto the Facebook group and put the link to the book in there,
Yeah.
should be plenty of time for people to catch it. So there you go, guys. You got that resource. You got all of the different news resources that Jill recommends. Obviously, go follow her and connect with her as well. I'm excited to follow some of these celebrities. I do know Andreas Antonopoulos, so thank you for that. And then also, yeah, I guess you can't really go wrong with Elon Musk. You got to follow the whales if you want to catch on to the trends.
Funny. He's funny.
And
And Grimes, his girlfriend, sold
oh yeah,
art for
yeah,
like
definitely.
6 million, whatever, 7 million. Yeah.
And I guess
They haven't got
is
enough money, have they? They haven't got enough money.
yeah, for me, my light bulb moment with this whole thing was I was in a room on Clubhouse yesterday and someone was talking about collaborating with other artists to create a song together. And I don't know why, but for me, when I heard them talking about that, it's like what you were saying, like if Justin Bieber and I don't know, some other big name artists get together and go to the recording studio and they finish the song and the song is ready to go and they record it and they got that MP3 file, they can put it on the blockchain and say, boom, this is the first one of this song ever. How much do you want to pay for it? And that's just, that's never been able to be done before. And there's much more than just that happening. And again, if any of this interests you, I'm going to turn to the side camera now. If any of this interests you, what we talked about today, please don't be shy. Reach out to me directly or in the group, reach out to Jillian. I really want to start building more conversations around this so that way we can all benefit from it and create some cool things together. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So Jill, thank you for staying up late with us and investing your time with the Next Level Adam Carswell Facebook group.
Do you know what I want to add before I go? I'm terrible. I'm going one more thing. I interviewed the co-founder of Uplands today. Uplands.
It sounds really cool. I don't know Uplands, but it sounds like, I'm sure it was like a.
But they have all houses, all the property. It's a metaverse of parallel of the real world, and all the houses are NFTs.
You just actually, okay, I need to know this real quick because this has also been driving me crazy. What is the metaverse? I keep hearing metaverse. What is that?
A virtual world in and of itself. So it's like it's like a universe, but it's in online, it's digital. So it's a metaverse. Okay. So rather than, how Elon Musk wants to go to Mars, that costs a lot of money. You could go to a metaverse and, hang out in maybe a Mars-like world or something. Sonium, that's kind of a metaverse. Remember we did that during the Liberland anniversary? Yeah. Sonium.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. So, okay. Metaverse is tied to like virtual reality.
Yeah.
Okay,
so cool. Cool. Anyway.
So that's another buzzword I want to leave everyone with too. You're going to hear metaverse. You're going to hear us sounding like nerds and people that are like, most people are skeptical about throwing this terminology around, but I can tell you right now, I'm getting the same vibe with this term metaverse. Like give it 10, 15 years, it's going to be just a part of the English language. So
2 years.
There you go. 2 years. All right. There you go. All right, Jill. I'm going to end the recording now. We can close things out, but yeah, everyone, thank you for tuning in. Jill, any parting words?
No, just thank you so much. Sorry for rattling on there. Thank you as always for having me on your shows. Super valuable, super educational. Only get information like this right here. Be sure to tell your friends to subscribe to this group. And we might leak this interview out to the podcast in a little bit. So if you're listening on the Dream Chasers platform, follow the link in the description to our Facebook group. All right, guys, remember, in all you think, say, and do, take it to the next level.